right, this is the start to a video because look at Amity. She's so cute. I'm going to try out 2 different air dry matte varnish products. I have done that twice in the past with a couple of dolls. I had one that was like, I think it was Art Deco. I think it was one of theirs, and I liked it. I used it on Charlie, and everything was great. And then I did get the one, I think Reborn FX, which is supposed to be good over air dry and heat set. And for whatever reason, the doll I was using it on, it was really dried, really chalky. It was terrible. I lost that jar, and anyway, I did some new research and ordered 2 different products. One was a reorder of the Reborn FX. Is it Ultra Matte? I'll show it to you. And then the other is, you know, more of a general supply varnish. So I'm going to test out. So you can see Amity's always had a little bit of a shine to her, but this baby is, yeah, so it didn't take long for it to become really apparent for me. Her face, not so much. You can still see texture in her face, but you can see on her hands and stuff a bit of shine. So I'm going to try out just a little bit on test spots, I think on the back of each leg, and then compare the 2. And then we'll see what we think. Okay, so I took her shoes and tights off. I'm not going to fully take her whole outfit off until I'm ready to do the whole thing. So Amity has 3/4 legs. So I have Deco Art Americana Decor Soft Touch Varnish. Okay, this was recommended. Actually, it was a tutorial I watched. And then the other one is Reborn FX Air Dry Varnish Ultra Matte. So I think what I'll do, see the backs of the heels, how they are shiny. That's the most, I think, shiny spot I see on the back. I just hesitate to put it on the heels just because that's such a visible spot. And since I'm comparing 2 products, I think I might like to go higher at, yeah, let's go for it. So then I also have just some makeup wedges. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit of each product on a plate and just apply a thin amount. I'll use a separate sponge for each. All right, so the Americana Decor instructions on this one are to shake really well. I'm actually going to use the sponge to get some product onto a plate. And then I'm going to use just a thin amount. I'm going to put that on this, which is her right leg. I'm just going to go right across the back and include this top crease. I'm using a dry part of the sponge to get some of that off, because I'm always a little paranoid and I want to make sure I don't do it too thick. So that'll take, and then I go, oh, did I have enough on there? Okay. Now the Reborn FX, you want to stir this product well. You can see the stuff settled at the bottom. I would shake it. It's probably very similar to the other, but I know there are some products that some things, not necessarily Reborn products, things in general, that it's important to gently stir or even tap the bottom instead of shaking. So since the instructions don't explicitly say to shake it, I'm going to stir it. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to dip my sponge in here and put some on the plate. And then I'm just going to pounce it across the back of this one and get in this crease. This is her can't see. And I'm just using a dry part of the sponge because I want to make sure that I don't have it clumping on there. And then I'm redoing what I just did because I'll put it on there and then I'm like, oh, it's too much. And I'm like, well, maybe it's not enough. So I'm just basically redoing exactly what I just did. Just lightly putting it on and then using a corner and then using a drier side to make sure it's just not excess, and then using a corner to get into the creases here. Make sure there's no settling. The main thing I'm looking for here, I'm going to let this stuff dry, is I want to make sure that there's no chalkiness left on either leg. And then if I can see a perceivable difference in like the matte finish, I'll pick, well, you know, then those two things will factor in, and then I'm going to do the heels. And then I'll see how the heels go. And if everything goes well with those two areas, I'll feel more comfortable to do the rest of her limbs. I may not do her face, but we'll see. All right, we'll be back. All right, I'm back. Hasn't been too long, but both products are definitely dry. I don't see any chalkiness on either leg. And I don't see much of a difference in terms of the finish. But, you know, again, these weren't really terribly shiny spots. Let's go ahead and, I feel comfortable enough to do the heels. You can see the shine coming off of the heels. So let's just go ahead and repeat what I did. I'm going to go on this side again with the Deco Art Americana Decor. And I just have a little bit let's go back over to our, and you can see this product. This is the Reborn FX. See how it's all settling at the bottom. I just got done stirring it. Shook it just a little bit there. So anyway, we'll open that back up, try stirring it again. So I'm getting a little bit on the sponge and dabbing that onto the plate. And then I'm going to pounce that onto this heel. Take a dry part of the sponge. So it's such a thin amount, you know, it really doesn't take too long to dry. Let's look at them. Just right out of the gate. To me, it seems like I have more of a matte finish. Now, I know I just put this on. We should give it a minute to dry. But just the immediate results, to me, this heel looks more matte than this heel. So a little less reflective. So I'm going to let her sit for a little bit longer like that. It just, again, I want to really make sure that I don't come out with any chalkiness. Okay. I went ahead and I did the tips of her thumbs. I flipped her over. This one is the Reborn FX. Actually, let me take the camera down. So this one is the Reborn. Oops. Reborn FX. You can see, let's see if we can get shiniest to the tips of the fingers. The thumb is like not shiny at all anymore. It's really hard to get a macro focus. And then this is the other one. Why can't I remember what it's called? The Deco Art one. Her legs are flipped up, don't be freaked out. The shininess is gone. I don't see any chalkiness in either one. You see the tips of the fingers versus the thumb. Tips of the fingers. Honestly, I see like no, it's imperceptible. Any difference is imperceptible at this point. I feel like, so this is the heel that has the Reborn effects on it. And this is the other one. I just feel just ever so slightly partial to the Deco Art. And I couldn't tell you why. There's just a very slight difference in that I'm more drawn to it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to complete the rest of her limbs with that. And once she's all done and dried and stuff, I'll come back and we'll show you the finished product. Okay, don't laugh. I don't have like a lot of materials. So we're just, I just have her propped up so that none of her vinyl that is just done is touching anything her legs are up to. But I got her legs and her arms and her hands and her feet all done. It looks really good. Looks really good. Looks matte. No chalkiness. I'm still deciding against doing her face. Honestly, her face looks still pretty matte to me. Now in different lighting, if I feel differently, then I will go back and do that, but I will, like her neck maybe, it's got a little shine to it. I would probably take, well, I would want her whole body to be dry. I may or may not take the whole head off, but for now I'm going to leave it because I don't want to change how much of her features come through in the paint and all that, but she's so cute. So yeah, pretty happy. I will throw a little clip. I'm going to let her stay like this probably till tomorrow, and then I'll put a little clip up at the end once I get her dressed again, so you can see her all done. But I'm glad I got the products. Like I said, either one would have been great. I think they both looked pretty similar. After sitting for a little bit longer, I didn't see any issues with either. I just felt a little bit more of a matte finish with the one than the other. But I have another doll I want to throw some matte varnish on, who has a different kind of vinyl. This is an older, thicker vinyl. I have a softer vinyl doll. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try both on two inconspicuous areas and then pick from there. All right, guys, we'll be back one more time. Alrighty. I'm back. I'm going to get Amity dressed here. I wanted to show you guys her limbs before I do that. So I didn't do her face, but everything came out great. First and foremost, no chalkiness, no streaking, no nothing. And it's just a nice thin matte layer. And I don't know, hopefully it's picking up well, but there's zero shininess on her fingertips, tip of her thumb. And those were the most apparent areas. Some of the sheen that she had that shows up was just the type of varnish that she had to begin with, but I could definitely tell on the fingertips and on the bottom of her heels and stuff that she had shine, and that's all gone. So I would say that that's a big win. All right, guys, so thanks for watching my little tune-up video with Amity. She is back into my favorite outfit of hers. She actually came home to me in this outfit, and it's still my favorite. It is Mother Care, if anyone is wondering. Mother Care brand, little jumper. But that's my sweetheart. Hopefully that is helpful for anyone who might be thinking of doing a little bit of minor touch-ups. and I will look forward to being back with you guys real soon. We are sending out lots of love. Bye for now.